I think we're good to go. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm a little small down there. Let me see. Let me enlarge myself. Yes! Now you can see me quite well. Hey, everybody. It's been a while. Been playing a lot of seasons and playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, so I haven't got a chance to go and put out some new information or try some new guides or anything like that. But I got a request by a couple of my viewers and stuff like that, and we were brainstorming around this side in chat, and we were talking about the idea of getting a Witch Doctor to speed farm T6, or at least start doing some initial testing for it to try out some builds and see if we can, how fast we can push them and farm everything. Now, before we go ahead and start this video, I'm going to go ahead and tell you a disclaimer. If you are looking for the fastest way to get T6 farming done, like you're trying to farm for keys or you're trying to clear bounties as quickly as possible to get the rift shards to do the T6 risk, which means you're probably going to end up getting those just for trials, the fastest classes in the game are Monk and Barbarian for that purpose. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. This is not for it to be on the same level. What this is actually designed for is people who don't want to simply reroll another character, or they don't enjoy playing Barber Monk. They just want to be able to farm fast on the Witch Doctor. They don't care too much about doing minute runs and stuff like that. So that's why I've been putting this little thing together. With now that being said, so before anybody goes crazy in the comments, you guys know what this basically is going to do for you and what it's going to provide for you as compared to other classes. But with that being said, the choice I initially did was, when I was thinking about basically making a Witch Doctor speed farming build, is that the main thing you need something that doesn't maybe revolve around pets. Pets are okay in certain situations, but if you are going to use pets, you need a mechanic to make sure you can keep getting up guaranteed speed and maybe getting in and out of situations. Maybe any kind of build that can do some damage on the fly. We don't have to necessarily stop farming. You can just, you don't have to stop and let your pets do the damage. And initially, it came down to two different builds I wanted to go ahead and test. The first, which I am releasing today, the Jade Speed T6 farming build. In the future, will be a Tiki Sack build or a Tickle and Visage build. I got to figure out how I want to do it. And now I'll be using the Rachel's Ring of Larceny, I think it's called. It gives you a movement speed every time you use Fear, which is a big deal because constant speed increases have been proven to be quite strong for this build. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty of it. It's pretty much set up like a traditional Jade build with some slight alterations. Quizzicoatl is exactly the same. You want one with the Int Vitality and crit percent chance in a socket, and you want the cooldown reduction gem because we do want a good amount of cooldown reduction. Not too much, but that will suffice. Shoulders, Int Vitality, cooldown reduction, increase haunt damage. Same with the chest, Int Vitality, increase haunt damage. You want to get some nice strong arm bracers, poison property, Int Vitality, and crit. Try to score whatever necklace you can get. Int, critical percent chance, critical damage in socket. That's fantastic. Or you can even get one that has poison damage, critical percent chance, critical damage in socket, which in that situation you rolled off the intelligence. Gloves are going to be traditional Jade gloves. Int, critical percent chance, critical damage, and cooldown reduction. Ring of Royal Grandeur, same thing. You can either go attack speed and crit, or attack speed and critical damage. Either one's fine. Int is also, you know, whatever. You can get it one ancient great. That's fantastic. Also, this is a new item, Convention of Elements. Works really solid in this build. If you don't want to use this weapon, you can actually, or I'm sorry, ring. You can actually use the Stone of Jordan poison property, but these are a lot easier to come by, so that's why I go ahead and decided just to use Convention of Elements. Basically, it shifts through all the different elements of the Witch Doctor, and basically when it procs itself, it gives 156% increased damage for 4 seconds, because that's how long they stay in that element for 4 seconds. So it'll go from, let's say, cold to fire, fire to physical, physical to poison, and back to cold, and it rotates. So basically, when the ring changes, as you can see the colors down here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I think it's hiding behind my face. Let me shrink myself a little bit. As you can see, the little that little symbol right there, how it's shifting. See, now it's gray, so it's going to be physical. So when that poisons up, since we're building a poison-based build, we're going to do an insane amount of damage and be able to haunt up the elites real quick, or even in some cases just let Locust Swarm automatically cast itself and we can harvest it and instantly kill it. Belt of Transcendence gives us extra fetishes, will help us be like a little bit safer in certain situations. Some people say, why not run a Haunting Girdle? You can if you like, but I really like the additional damage of the fetishes, because there might be a time you get to Rift Guardian or a certain elite, and you just need that extra little bit of damage to do in between while you are either waiting for your haunts to double tick on them with the 2-piece Jade, or you're waiting for your Soul Harvest to come back up. Cool note, if you have a Wormwood on and it hits a monster when it casts, that generates a finish, so it counts it as a mana spinner, even though technically you're not spending mana for it, so it works well with the Wormwood. Of course, we're running Wormwood because it automatically casts Locust Swarm to all the targets on the screen, which is pretty significant, because This allows us to run through monsters and gather up things, or deal damage, or not have to worry about slowing down as much as possible, and that's what we always want to do. Most, if you got enough damage in your build, most regular mobs will die to a Locust Swarm and then Harvest, where you don't even need to cast Haunt, and that's what really helps out with the build and make it go through a lot faster. The gems, usually you would run Bane the Trap, Bane the Powerful, Facia's Toxin Gem, but replace Facia's with Wreath of Lightning. Every time we cast a Haunt or do certain abilities, it has a chance to proc lightning, does pretty solid damage as you level it up. But the main thing is, while that lightning is active, we get a 25% speed boost. Also, Boon of the Hoarder, every time we kill an enemy, 80% chance for it to do a gold explosion, 30% increase movement speed for 2 seconds after picking up gold. Fantastic. And it has to be the gold recently killed from an enemy. If the gold sits on the ground too long, I notice that it doesn't give me the speed boost unless I'm just going crazy. So we got 2 speed boosts to help us get through the environment, and we also have, in combination with the Eye of Elich, with the Bane the Trap, just so we can amp up damage. If they had a third option for a gem that also provided speed, I probably would definitely use it, because movement speed seems to be very important inside this build, at least from my initial testings. Standard Jade stuff, with the exclusion of one thing. Haunt, Poison, Spirit, that's pretty typical. Locust Swarm or Pestilence, a lot of people ask me, why do you run that if you have the Wormwood and Locust Swarm automatically cast? That version of Locust Swarm, if you choose not to have that in your skill bar, only casts 1 Locust Swarm at a time and jumps from 1 monster at a time. But since I'm going to be running around really fast, and sometimes I don't want to wait for that Locust Swarm to spread, I'd rather have the Pestilence, because it will take on the rune property when it gets auto-cast. So now, when it auto-casts a Locust Swarm, it's going to be with the Pestilence rune, it's going to spread all the way across the map, and I don't have to actually stop the cast it, so that's why I prefer to use it. If you like to rotate it or something out, that's totally up to you, but I found a great success with running Pestilence. Spirit Walk with Jaunt, a little bit of survivability, keep us in the Spirit Walk room a little bit longer. Siphon's part of the build, can't get rid of it because you need that to harvest. Horrify with Stalker with the movement increased speed. We also got Spirit Vessel, so that's going to help that, reduce that, and then a little cooldown reduction that we do have, so we'll be able to use Horrify on a regular basis to keep our movement speed up. Spirit Walk with Horrify is very fast, especially if you got the other movement buffs going into play. Paragon Serenado, because we've got a stronger Embracer, puts all the enemies in one spot, so we can help us with Harvest. Graven Justice, so we reduce the cooldown of the Paragon Serenado, Horrify, Spirit Walk, everything we need to reduce Creeping Death to extend the time of our dots. Gruesome Feast for the damage increase, and also Spirit Vessel for a little bit of survivability. So that's what the build is pretty much working with. If you're worrying about the Paragon points, it's pretty straightforward. You max out your movement speed, then you go into Int. Offensive tree. I'd actually would tell you to go critical percent chance and critical damage first, but I mean cooldown reduction and critical chance is cool. If you're looking for a secondary stat, cooldown reduction is alright. But these are the first main 3 stats you definitely want to get. It's if not cooldown reduction, then critical chance first, and then you get vice versa, then you work into your critical damage. For defense, always start with armor, because if you're building intelligence properly, you're going to get all resistance because you're a witch doctor. Life percent, then resist all, and then in the last tree, of course, resource cost reduction. If you want to run that, or you can actually even do area damage or life on hit. It really doesn't matter too much inside those blocks. So pretty much outside of all that, the build performs very well. If you guys want to see how my best runs actually looked up in action, I'm going to go ahead and put some, I think they call it analytics or something like that, something like that in YouTube, where basically I can put little links in the video. So if you guys want to get links to those videos, you guys can just click here and go to there directly. And like I said, there's somewhere around there. I'll put them somewhere around. But outside of all that, the build farms pretty well. Just in case if you guys are wondering about the math part, and I'm going to be closing up here pretty soon. Over the 30 run attempts, let me see here, we averaged 902, and that's for a full Act 1 bounty clear run. That's averaging all 30 runs together, not just basically picking the best time and telling you that you can do that. The best time I've gotten with a full Act 1 clear bounty was 6 minutes and 47 seconds. And then, same thing for the overall time for the T6 risk. We averaged a time of 3:52. Lowest time was 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So if you get good RNG, the build can farm pretty dang fast. It's not going to farm quicker than a Barb or a Monk, but it's a good alternative just in case you don't want to play those classes and you want to try a farming fast build for the Witch Doctor, or maybe you just have some Jade pieces hanging around. Maybe you get tired of making the keys on your own. Maybe you get tired of looking for the, through all the bounties. This build can help you to get around a lot faster, get it done, and definitely help out in T6 and low-level content. Greater Rift level up to about 35, and just run out in the head of the pack, be able to keep up with the barbarians. Maybe not all the way, but be at least able to keep within a good close distance and do your role inside the party. So again, I appreciate you guys watching the stream. Appreciate you guys watching these guides. Check out those other videos. You guys want to see the highlights of the build in action and how it does when it's when everything aligns and what have you not. And outside of that, the next build I'm going to be working on is another farming fast build, but that's going to be involving the tickling of Visage and I think it's Rachel's. I want to always say Rachel. No, it's Rachel's Ring of Larceny, and that's going to involve around every time I horrify. That's going to give me a movement speed increase, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. And of course, I'll post the findings and put it on Reddit and all that good stuff. I think that's about it. I think I kept it under 10 minutes. 10 minutes and 30 seconds is not too bad. So go out there, start farming, try the build out. Let me know how you guys like it. As always, man, I hope you guys have a good day, and keep up the farming in Season 3. Go out there and get those Rift Shards and those Chalkies. Later, guys.